Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram. In this video, we will discuss lactate pyruvate pathway. Either you call it lactate pyruvate pathway or you call it Cori cycle, it's same thing. What is this lactate pyruvate pathway? Try to understand, guys. Lactate means lactic acid. When lactic acid will lose its hydrogen ion, we'll call it lactate, and pyruvate means pyruvic acid. So it is something that is related to lactic acid and pyruvic acid. Before going there, try to understand it how our muscles are using energy. See, we have a muscle, right? And in that muscle, like suppose today morning you started to run, right? And your skeletal muscles are using lot of energy. For that they are breaking glucose. Yes, they are breaking glucose by a series of reaction. That series of reaction is called glycolysis. After this 10 chemical reaction of glycolysis, we got two molecule of pyruvic acid. Yes, pyruvic acid we got. Glucose have 6 carbon, pyruvic acid have 3 carbon. Yes. Now this pyruvic acid have actually two fate. Either it will convert into acetyl coenzyme A, enter into mitochondria, and in mitochondria it enter into the Krebs cycle, then electron transport chain, and then oxidative phosphorylation, and then we will get 36 to 38 ATP. I am telling you first situation when oxygen is available, this product of outcome of glycolysis pyruvic acid, yeah, I'm writing here, it will convert into, it will go through in the condition of oxygen availability, it will form acetyl coenzyme A, two acetyl coenzyme A will form, and then they will enter into the process, they will enter into mitochondrial, I mean, they will go for Krebs cycle, and end of the Krebs cycle something will happen that's called electron transport chain, and then oxidative phosphorylation, and then 3 to 6 ATP formation, 36 to 38 ATP formation. But when oxygen is not available, then they go for another, this same pyruvic acid will go for anaerobic respiration, and they will form two molecule of lactic acid. Yeah, lactic acid they will form. Now what will be fate of lactic acid when it will form in your body, when it will form in your muscle, we are going to discuss here. Actually, like you started to run, okay, and when you are running, your body, your muscles are consuming a lot of oxygen, right? Now for increasing availability of oxygen, your brain increases your breathing rate. Yeah, breathing rate increases or not, like when you run, when you do heavy exercise, breathing rate increases. Why? Because consumption of oxygen in the muscle increases. But a time will come when you will feel I'm getting tired, your muscles are getting fatigued, and you are feeling some kind of pain in muscle. Actually what happened, when oxygen was not available, then pyruvic acid enter into the anaerobic respiration in that lactic acid form. And when lactic acid form in muscles due to fatigue, the person feel pain. Yeah, that only I have written here. Repeated activation of muscle can lead to accumulation of lactic acid due to anaerobic breakdown causes fatigue, right? Now what is fate of that lactic acid form? Let's see here, students, see in diagram piece, this is the stuff of, this stuff, some kind of stuff of our muscle, where lactate means lactic acid form. This lactic acid will transport and it will come to our liver, and in liver it's going to form pyruvic acid. First it will form pyruvic acid, and from pyruvic acid, two molecule of pyruvic acid, they will go through reverse reaction of glycolysis, and then they form glucose. This whole process is called gluconeogenesis. So gluconeogenesis is process in which lactic acid convert into pyruvic acid, and then from pyruvic acid glucose form. Now this glucose have two options. Either it will convert into glycogen and it will stored into the liver, and wherever it have to go it will go, or from the liver it will release into the blood, and from blood again it will come to the muscle, and again in the muscle they will go for either aerobic respiration or anaerobic respiration, or they will form glycogen. This whole process is called Cori cycle or lactate pyruvate pathway. So let's see the same thing in a little detail. Glucose, yeah, glucose actually they are going through glycolysis, total 10 chemical reaction, and what will be output of that, 2 NADH will form and 2 ATP will form. That 2 NADH will be used into the anaerobic respiration when lactic acid will form. Yes, fine. This is what molecular structure of the lactic acid. Now this lactic acid transported and it came to the liver, and in liver this lactic acid converted into pyruvic acid again. This is the structure of pyruvic acid, you see, right? And from pyruvic acid glucose will form, and that glucose will 80% of the glucose, it will convert into glycogen. Yeah, 80% of glucose will convert into glycogen, but 20% of the glucose will go for aerobic respiration, and they will form carbon dioxide, and they will release water and produce a lot of ATP for that. This is what our lactate pyruvate pathway. I have written also here. The extra glucose convert into glycogen in the liver for storage. 80% of the lactic acid convert into glycogen by the process called gluconeogenesis. Sorry, glycogenesis, and remaining 20% means 1 by 5th of lactic acid. They will go for normal oxidation and they form carbon dioxide and H2O. Remaining we'll see in next video.